The dream of becoming a star, loved and adored by all, that's just what it was for Marilyn, a dream. For as she discovered, no amount of fame could give her the personal happiness she wanted more than anything else. Biography presents the life of Marilyn Monroe.
I can't understand, and I despise all that rubbish that makes always, if there isn't a tragedy, then there isn't a star. No, the tragedy comes all right, and it is sad, because what they weren't trained to do, none of these people, including Marilyn, was how to handle it. But who can handle the whole world at your foot? Who? When suddenly everybody's there bowing before you and wanting you. Who has yet learned this art anyway, really, even today? Clark Gable, simply by, well, being a man and not saying anything. But most people don't know how to deal with it. Such affection, you just, how many ways can you say, grazie militante, thank you, and the audience just stands up and loves you for half an hour, because that's what you mean to them. You mean love. That's what makes a Monroe, and she's the last great movie star, you see, Hollywood movie star. Hollywood movie star with lights, Hollywood movie stars with all the photographs that the stills men take because we need new pin-ups, everything. She's the last. She's the end of what we mean when we say Hollywood, and that's it.
To you the Look Achievement Award as the most outstanding feminine newcomer of 1952.
Thank you, Louis.
And as Best Young Box Office Personality, Miss Marilyn Monroe.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols.
And it's with honor and pride and pleasure I present this citation to you.
Thank you.
It's hard to explain Marilyn Monroe because you cannot explain Niagara Falls or Grand Canyon. You just sit back and admire and awe.
Marilyn Monroe was one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen in my life. She was sweet, she was kind, and she was naive.
Lee Strasberg once said, when he was interviewed about Marilyn Monroe, that Marilyn Monroe was a dream of Marilyn Monroe. And I've always been intrigued by that statement and what he might have meant by that.
A lot of creative people, I guess, are very powerful in that they almost create their own realities. And it seemed to me, and I remember we had a conversation about it once where she talked about how when she was a little girl, she had dreamt that she would be rich and famous and everybody would love her and that would make the big difference in her life. But she left herself out of her dream. So everybody loved her but her.
She was born nothing. She was born an orphan, county orphan, foster homes, didn't finish high school, and married a young guy because the foster parents were leaving town and they thought they should get married, and they got married. Then he went off to the Merchant Marine and she had the war games and worked in a war factory.
Marilyn Monroe was about 19 years old when I think she started to begin to find this focus for her life and began to think seriously about acting. It's a story that's well known about a photographer going into a factory during the Second World War, trying to find a young, pretty girl and to take pictures of her for the magazines that were sent to servicemen across the seas during the war.
I was having a fashion show at the Ebell Club on Wilshire Boulevard, and I had told Marilyn that she could be in the show, and we had a station wagon to take the group over to the club. And in the meantime, Marilyn came over to me and said, you know, I've only got these sneakers, and the dress that she selected in the wardrobe calls for better shoes. I can't wear these sneakers. And I called the wardrobe and asked them if they'd please give her a pair of shoes, or at least lend them to her. And she said, well, she'll have to sign for them, but tell her to come up. When we got to this Ebell Club, the man that was managing this for me said, who's that last girl that came in with you? And I told him Marilyn Monroe. She's new at Columbia. So he said, oh, well, we didn't need her because she doesn't have any, has she worked before in pictures? And I said, no. So he says, well, we'll manage to put her in the second row.
I think actors are attracted to acting because it gives them a sense of an opportunity really to explore other roles. But I think if you're Marilyn Monroe and you feel some lack in your development, in the way that you've grown up, in your own family history as being a kind of mystery to you, I think acting has special kinds of attractions.
This is the first car I ever owned. I call her Cynthia. She's going to have the best care a car ever had. Put Royal Triton in Cynthia's little tummy.
Right, lady.
Cynthia will just love that Royal Triton.
She'd made herself a name for herself by in a very small part in Asphalt Jungle at MGM, and then her contract had been taken up again by Fox.
Haven't you bothered me enough, you big banana head? Just try breaking my door, and Mr. Emmerich will throw you out of the house.
You know, one of the greatest gifts that I ever received was to know Marilyn Monroe, and I knew her well. In fact, I did her clothes for 11 different films in Hollywood. This girl was so beautiful, so terribly beautiful that not even any woman has been able to copy her. Marilyn was a combination of a baby and a grown, sensuous woman, and that's what made people fall in love with her.
When we started the picture in Niagara, she was wonderful. She worked hard. She knew everything.